but I don't know it in Tibetan.
I think it's Losar Tashi Delek.
Losar Tashi Dile.
Yeah, Tashi Delek is kind of like it's more a greeting that kind of grew up in exile, so it's not really traditional, but it just kind of means like, literally means like auspicious good fortune. So it's like, I don't know. Like that's Tibetan though. You know, the way you ask like, how are you doing is your honorific body blissful? So they don't really do like hi. It's like auspicious good fortune to you. Then they write that way too.
Back at you.
Pardon?
Back at you.
Yeah, yeah. So happy, I don't know, tail end of Losar, I guess. Happy close of Losar. So this session is supposed to be kind of like the Sunday morning sessions, and y'all are familiar with those. So I'm thinking we'll just kind of jump into it, and then maybe I'll like say a little bit after like the first part, after the Hong practice, and then we can have a little break and do the Ah practice afterwards. Everybody's familiar with the book, right? Y'all have all been here on Tuesday nights or Sundays. Oh, thank you. Oops. Sorry, Gary.
That's not a problem.
Like totally destroying your careful setup here. So we'll start with the silent meditation and then settling in to the abdomen center, and then we'll do the Hong practice, which y'all know about, and then we'll take a little break and do the Ah.
Before we take our short break, I'd like to just say a few things about rejoicing. So traditionally, when Buddhists talk about sort of 4 states connected with loving kindness, they're often traditionally called the 4 divine abidings. They're loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. And this joy, it's usually called sympathetic joy. And the idea is you're kind of rejoicing in someone else's accomplishment. And traditionally, this is thought of as an antidote to envy. And it's excellent as an antidote to envy. But also, you can rejoice in anyone's excellent activity or something that they've accomplished. And so traditionally, Tibetans will say that during this period of Losar, these couple of weeks after the beginning of the new year, that the merit of anything good that you do is multiplied 100,000 times. I'm not really sure how you calculate that. Also, the bad impact of anything negative that we do is multiplied 100,000 times. But I think this is kind of a, whether or not you believe in karma and whether or not you believe that your karma can be multiplied 100,000 times, it's still kind of nice to actually think about all the opportunities that we have in our lives to rejoice in excellent things that happen. So, for instance, rejoicing in Mother Teresa's activities. There's something about thinking about what she did and what kind of higher call that is that just kind of lifts your mind up. And it's said that rejoicing in someone else's good activity gives you the same amount of good karma as actually having done it. So I'm not really sure how to interpret that either. But you can definitely feel when you think about someone you admire and you think about what they've accomplished, you can definitely feel like it kind of lifts up your spirit somehow to think about what they've done, and even to aspire, not even, to be planning to do anything like that, but to aspire, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could just cultivate those qualities? Even if I'm not going to, move to Calcutta, live in the slums, take care of impoverished, dying people, to cultivate that quality of open-heartedness is amazing. Or I like sometimes to think about His Holiness the Dalai Lama and just being in his presence. It's like there's this, amazing joy and love just kind of radiating from him.
So I just like to rejoice sometimes thinking about him, meeting with people who really need that kind of energy in their lives, and to like rejoice in that contact. And if you think about it, even here in Houston, we have so many opportunities to rejoice. Like Anne will sometimes use the example of someone making a donation to MD Anderson. There's so many acts of kindness and generosity in this city. It can be easy to kind of focus on the negatives or on what's lacking in our own lives. But I think rejoicing is like, it's a call to notice the times when we do see wonderful things happening around us, and to be able to use that as part of our own spiritual practice, instead of letting it go by or thinking, oh, I could never do that, or, must be nice to have $1 million that you can give to a foundation. It just seems completely other. So I think rejoicing, for me anyway, is kind of a way of bringing other people's excellent qualities or excellent activities into my own life somehow, into my own experience, in a way that's much more meaningful than if I just kind of leave it out there as something that, like, yeah, okay, a millionaire can make these big donations, but I can't. Or like the Dalai Lama, can bring so much joy to people, but, I don't even aspire to that. So this rejoicing is really more like finding sources of this kind of, joy and celebration of the things that are good in the world. And I think we have a media environment that's saturated by what's wrong and saturated by who's harming each other. And it can take a little effort sometimes to actually look for the opportunities to rejoice in someone else's positive actions, the positivity that they're adding to our society. But if you kind of put rejoicing on your radar, it's almost like a little nudge in that direction, to kind of dig past the bad and to find what's good. And it really can shift, for me anyway, I found that it shifts my experience of, being in our society, because I'm deliberately looking for what's good. It's easy to see what's bad. It's easy to see what's missing from my own life or from myself as a person, but to actually look for, those qualities in the people around me is inspiring. So, happy Losar. I hope y'all have been rejoicing or have had opportunities or will find opportunities to rejoice, and that the year will be wonderful for everybody. Now we can take a little break. I was bummed to miss the actual Losar celebration here. Were y'all here?
I was
Okay. I think I need bigger ears. That's the problem.
That's something that people often wish for.
No, I've really never made that aspiration before either, but yeah. Just a little.
rejoice that you have a microphone.
Me too.
You don't have to scream.
Right. And so we can like connect with, people who are not physically here. Yeah, there is something about trying to project if you're leading meditation where you're like, no, we're all going to relax. Do you feel relaxed yet?
I'm struggling to get relaxed.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of happens sometimes. Like, just like for me, like my energy doesn't really settle if I'm like trying to be so loud. Okay, so y'all know about the second part of this practice. We'll sit maybe for like 5 minutes, and then we'll do the 3 ahs. The first ah, the white light fills up your body, and the second ah, we all share it, and then the third ah, it goes out to the city, the country, the entire world, the entire universe, as far as you want to take it. So we'll just start by kind of settling back into calm space. So on the first ah. Second ah. Third ah. Well, I'm glad y'all came today. I thought it might be just me and Gary. Actually, I didn't know Gary was going to be here. Happy Losar. I hope your Losar has started super, super auspiciously. Yeah, so have a wonderful year of the wood horse. And y'all know that we'll be doing this tomorrow morning, and then we'll have the white food thing afterwards. So if you're going to break your diet, tomorrow's the time to do it.
Now that doesn't count 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, well 100,000. But blessed blessed food has no calories though. I think I read that somewhere on the internet. So you're good.
As long as after that you will run 5 miles.
Yeah, which also doesn't burn the calories. It's just a form of rejoicing. So I'm sure that y'all also know about our ongoing teaching series, the first and third Tuesdays, Changing for Good. Harvey has been teaching, and it's really wonderful. He's talking about the process of change. And free for members, so if you're thinking about becoming a member, some incentive. And then we have a retreat coming up called Deep Wisdom Ocean that Ann and Harvey are going to lead. It's going to be awesome. I don't even know what it's going to be about, really, but it's going to be awesome because all the retreats they do are awesome.
Very special. This is Adzim Rinpoche's blessing to Ann.
Ooh, okay. It's going to be super, super awesome. Everybody should come. Yeah, okay.
So when is it?
This is Saturday, April 5th, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Sunday, April 6th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So this is based on a teaching that Anne got from our Rinpoche, which is a 4-part teaching that includes everything. Can't do better than that. This practice is rich, alive, and unfolding still. It is not just another practice. It offers something like what the bar offers a budding ballerina, support for developing the skill to dance free of all support. It's going to be amazing. And Anne will have just gotten off retreat, so it's going to be super extra amazing. So the amazingness factor is really high.
1,000 times.
Yeah, yes, exactly. 100,000 amazingnesses. Everyone is encouraged to attend. There are different sections for beginners and more advanced students. Oh yeah, there's also practice Tuesdays. Sometimes these don't get announced, but they're the second and fourth Tuesdays, and they're here 6:30 to about 7:45. And y'all are all welcome. You know, part of the reason it's not announced and it's not on the website is it's not guided, so people need to have something to practice to come to it. But you're all welcome. So let's do the closing prayer. And read the names. This prayer is on the white or the yellow sheet. It's the dedication, or it's also on page 22, I think. Yeah, 22, called Sharing the Merit in Here. So I'll just read these names first. So whatever positivity we've generated through our actions, it's already multiplied 100,000 times. Now we're going to share it with everybody, but especially these people. Katie, Faulkner, Chad and Kate, passengers on the Lost Malaysia flight, Dorothy and Alex, Joshua Phillips, Naomi, Sarah, Martha, Ellen and family, Alexander, Eleanor Day, Manga, Anne-Marie, Neo, Rebecca, Hans, Ruth and the Bardo, Allegra, Urs and family, Louisa, Janie, Joseph and Eric, and Dan Callahan and the Bardo, Daisy and the Bardo, David and his mom, Kay, Rachel, Jamie, Carolyn, Roger, Charles, deceased, Austin, the Bardo, Bobby, all ill children, the people affected by the Southwest accident. Now we can do the dedication prayer. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Thanks. Have a great week or day if you come Sunday.
Spring break.
Yeah.
Coming up, you have spring break?
No, that's for the HISD.
Rice have spring break.
Uh-huh.
My kids go to St. Vincent, grandchildren go to St. Vincent's, a Catholic church, they have a spring break now.
Some waves.
I guess it's kind of good. It's,
My daughter is going.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Thank
Have a good
you.
afternoon. My pleasure.